First on Fox, an 11-year-old in Baltimore arrested for his role in more than a dozen car thefts. What the city state's attorney is saying about the need to change juvenile justice laws. And in Towson, a 16-year-old shot outside of Towson High School. The latest on that investigation as we learn multiple teens may be involved. And we continue to follow the breaking news. Former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender to Georgia authorities tonight. What we're learning as Trump heads to Atlanta right now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Fox 45 News demanding accountability and solutions as we continue to see more young people engaged in crime. Overnight, a juvenile was shot outside Towson High School, and Fox 45 News has learned it involved 4 teens from Baltimore. And a story you're seeing first on Fox, an 11-year-old in Baltimore arrested for his role in more than a dozen car thefts. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for staying with us. Let's go right to Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost with details about that 11-year-old. Mackenzie?
Yeah, Mary, so we obtained these police reports talking about this 11-year-old. We're not going to name him because of his age, but in this, we've reviewed and tallied up the numbers, and the police have picked up this kid 13 times related to stolen cars since May 31st. Now, going through these details, these car thefts sometimes happen after the police have picked this kid up and released him back to his parents, happening just hours later, another car theft. Going through the reports, officers also write that the reason why this kid cannot be interviewed, talked to, or even charges filed against him is because of the current juvenile justice laws. And really, this underscores this trend that we have been reporting and talking about, these young kids getting involved in crime and not being able to be charged. Earlier today, we spoke with Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates about this. He says that he's continued and growing more and more frustrated about the current laws, and he says something needs to change.
If you have 11 or 12 contacts with the criminal justice system for the same exact offense, you're competent enough to steal a car, but you're not competent enough to understand who the judge is, who the prosecutor is, or who your defense attorney is. We have to get real and realize we have to hold young people accountable. Without a doubt, the laws must change.
And Mackenzie, we've been talking about this for several months. Now Governor Moore is weighing in on the juvenile crime crisis. What is he saying? Yeah, earlier this week, the governor sat down with political commentator Armstrong Williams and says that he wants to see some things change to ensure that everyone, regardless of their age, is held accountable.
We have got to make the adjustments necessary that there can be real measurements and levels of accountability.
But what that means really isn't clear. The governor was scarce on specifics during that interview. So today we followed up with the governor's office and sent them a few questions. Let me read you just some of the questions that we sent. We asked, what specific adjustments does Governor Moore think are necessary to ensure there are real measures of accountability? Why should Maryland wait for the General Assembly to return in January for these steps to be taken? And does he believe the current DJS system, that's Department of Juvenile Services, is broken and therefore not holding juveniles accountable for their crimes? Now, the governor's office has been telling me all afternoon that we will get a statement and some answers to those questions. So far, that hasn't happened, but we're going to continue to go through those police reports involving that 11-year-old, and we'll have more details coming up at 10. We're live in the newsroom. Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Mackenzie, thank you. Happening right now, the latest in a series of community meetings held by Mayor Scott and Acting Police Commissioner Richard Worley. The meeting just got underway a couple of minutes ago. This marks the second community meeting this week. On Tuesday, they were at the Shake and Bake Family Fun Center in West Baltimore. The mayor says the meetings are an opportunity to talk about how to build a safer Baltimore and to hear from residents about what they want to see from the city's police commissioner. But the meetings have also served as a venue for residents to vent. At the meeting Tuesday, one man was not hesitant about confronting the mayor over his concerns about the city's Squeegee Collaborative.
I was at the Squeegee Collaborative, which started 30 minutes late, and the mayor was absent. This meeting also started 30 minutes late. It's clear that you don't want to hear from citizens.
Thanks. The Squeegee Collaborative didn't start 30 minutes late.
It did. I was there. You weren't there.
You
so
don't
how are you going to say?
We're gonna do.
No, but I was there.
We in West Baltimore. Chill out. Thank you, sir. I guess he doesn't want his question asked.
But you're not answering. You're telling me that you weren't late when I was there.
Am I going to talk?
You weren't there.
We gonna be emotional or we gonna talk?
Well, Fox 45's Keith Daniels is at the current meeting right now. He'll be bringing us a full report tonight on Fox 45 News at 10. The start of school is just days away in Baltimore County. Now, 2 incidents involving guns happen on school grounds in less than a week. The first happened Saturday outside of Woodlawn High School. The other just last night outside of Towson High School. Fox 45's Amy Simpson reports.
The school district says that 16-year-old shot here outside of Towson High School last night is not a student at Baltimore County Public Schools. But late this afternoon, Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger confirming it was allegedly 4 teens involved from Baltimore City. This was the scene outside of Towson High School late last night after police say a 16-year-old boy walked into a hospital with a gunshot wound.
This incident happened in the parking lot of Towson High School.
Police say a 9mm handgun was recovered. A message about the incident went out to the Towson High School community. The victim is not a Baltimore County Public Schools student. The message said in part, and the police have shared there is no ongoing threat to Towson High School community. Police are also investigating shots fired outside of Baltimore County's Woodlawn High School over the weekend. Officers responded to the school grounds around 7:20 Saturday night. There were shots fired during a football clinic organized by the Baltimore County Department of Parks and Recreation that was held on the field of Woodlawn High School. The school's principal wrote in a message to families. Today, police were unable to share any new details on that investigation. Meanwhile, Baltimore County Public Schools is adamant that neither of this week's shootings happened during district-sponsored events, nor did they involve BCPS students. But just yesterday, ahead of the new school year,
OmniAlert is a weapons detection system.
Baltimore County Superintendent announced new software being rolled out for surveillance cameras, starting with high schools,
to spot any type of firearms.
The superintendent says an automatic alert will go to police and school leaders if a weapon is detected.
OmniAlert will be deployed in all schools during this school year.
State Delegate Kathy Shalega, who represents some of Baltimore County, says the technology is a step in the right direction.
Having software installed on these 7,000 cameras will make parents feel a little better about it.
But wants Annapolis to take action on kids and teens found with guns.
Until the law is brought up to where it needs to be, that will actually bring accountability to juveniles who possess firearms.
And given that police say a 9mm handgun was recovered here outside of Towson High School last night, I asked today what charges are pending. But today, police were only willing to say that's part of the investigation. In Towson, Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
Well, taking a live look over Towson and the Inner Harbor right now, we are tracking our next weather maker that could bring some shower and storms to the end of your work week. Let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Myers. For a first check of our forecast, those clouds look dark out there, Jonathan.
Yeah, Mary, really some pretty skies, but yeah, we also have some dark skies in the mix as well as some showers trying to move in from the north and west. Notice Reisterstown up to Butler. There is some rain here toward Westminster, not too far from the fairgrounds either, where folks are headed out to the state fair this evening. That opened up at 5 o'clock. There's a few more showers down across Centerville and Chestertown, too. There could be a spritz, could be a sprinkle, could be a shower if you headed out to the state fair. Or 7:05, we got the O's taking on the Blue Jays again. Temperature's going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Not enough rain for rain delays, I don't think. But you may want to have your slicker just in case you get a few collections of those raindrops coming down. I'm going to let you know we could have severe storms in a couple of minutes.
Well, Baltimore police tonight continue the search for the killer of a 75-year-old woman. Metro Crime Stoppers is now offering a $6,000 reward in the murder investigation of Versi Spell. She's the woman who was reported missing back in October. Her remains were found in March of this year inside a storage container in northwest Baltimore. Fox 45 News spoke with her family back in November, and they feared something terrible had happened.
Her cane was in the hallway, in the foyer, in a chair. So she'll have nothing to walk with. They found her keys in the basement. And my niece found her glasses outside on the grass near the steps.
Well, the family told us her home had been broken into and her television stolen. Anyone with information about her murder is asked to call Metro Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, the reward money has been increased in the search for Rachel Morin's killer. Metro Crime Stoppers now offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. It's been almost 3 weeks since the mother of 5 was found murdered on a Bel Air trail. Last week, the Hartford County Sheriff's Office revealed they had a suspect, but his identity is still unknown. DNA evidence found at the crime scene matched DNA in an assault earlier this year in Los Angeles. A group of Montgomery County parents plans to appeal after a judge denied their request to be able to opt their child out of curriculum, including LGBTQ books. The group of interfaith parents argued some books being taught are inappropriate for their children, and they wanted to be able to pull their children out of those lessons, but not remove the books from schools entirely. The judge, though, sided with the school system today, mandating the lessons for all students. Supporters of the curriculum say it promotes inclusion. The group says it will challenge that decision. Oral arguments are expected this fall. You can find more on the back and forth on our website, foxbaltimore.com.
Fox 45 is following developments right now as we wait for former President Donald Trump to surrender at Fulton County Jail near Atlanta, Georgia. Video here of Trump's motorcade entering Newark Airport to head over to Atlanta. He's expected to arrive at the jail around 7:30 tonight. Once there, he'll be arrested, booked, and a mugshot will be taken. It's the processing, as it's called. This is the 4th time Trump will be booked on criminal charges just this year. This time for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election in the state of Georgia. He was charged last week with 13 counts, including racketeering and conspiracy. In a last-minute legal move, Trump replaces top Georgia lawyer Drew Findling with Atlanta-based attorney Stephen Sadow. Sadow is an Atlanta-based attorney and described as a special counsel for white-collar and high-profile defense. In a statement, he said Trump is innocent, adding that he looks forward to the case being dismissed or Trump being found not guilty. A trial date has already been requested by Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis. She's proposing an October 23rd trial date. Fox 45 News will stay on this story following Trump's arrest and bringing the very latest on air and online. Mary?
Guy, thank you. The Department of Justice suing Elon Musk's SpaceX, why they allege the spacecraft manufacturer purposefully didn't hire refugees.
The president continues to push Bidenomics. I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at 2 major voting blocs that don't seem to be buying the message.
Well, high prices are on the minds of many Americans across the nation, so much so that Democrats are losing support from key voting blocs over economic woes. National correspondent Janae Bowens shows us how big a role this is playing in the upcoming election.
24 presidential.
The economy front and center at Wednesday's Republican presidential debate.
They need to stop the spending. They need to stop the borrowing.
Joe Biden's Bidenomics has led to the loss of $10,000 of spending power for the average family.
This at a time when the president is trying to sell Bidenomics.
It's working. When we invest in ourselves, when we strengthen the middle class, we see stronger economic growth.
But his sales pitch is facing significant headwinds. Many Americans connecting with Oliver Anthony's chart topper, Richmond North of Richmond, laying out their economic frustrations.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bull pay.
A recent poll from Quinnipiac shows 58% of Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of the economy, including 35% of black voters and 50% of Hispanic voters.
Is there a disconnect? I think so. I mean, we're obviously seeing numbers that reflect that, black and brown communities are feeling as though they're not feeling the benefits of this economy. But at the end of the day, the numbers are there.
Democratic strategist Dallas Jones remains optimistic voters will come around when reminded of things like low black unemployment. But in real terms for Americans, as prices are 18% higher today than they were before the pandemic and interest rates continue to spike, Republicans see an opening.
We must reverse Bidenomics so that middle-class families have a chance to succeed again. We cannot succeed as a country if you are working hard and you can't afford groceries, a car, or a new home.
Now we can expect the economy to be a focus at the second debate that's happening on September 27th in California.
And Janae, when will we get new information on whether or not the economy is making any strides, improving at all?
Right, so we'll get new data on the country's employment situation next Friday. That's on September 1st. And then about 2 weeks after that, on September 13th, we'll see if inflation is cooling or rising. Mary.
All right, Janae Bowens reporting from D.C. for us tonight. Thank you. Well, the U.S. Justice Department is suing SpaceX, accusing the company of discriminating against refugees in its hiring practices. The lawsuit claims that between September of 2018 and May of 2022, SpaceX routinely discouraged refugees from applying and refused to hire or consider them, violating the Immigration and Nationality Act. The DOJ also alleges SpaceX falsely claimed in its job listings that only green card holders and U.S. citizens could work at the company because of federal export control laws. SpaceX has not yet publicly responded to the lawsuit.
Fox Triplecast this evening showing clouds and some glimpses of sunshine on the Mile 1 Taos Cam and the Toyota East Unit Harbor Sky Cam, all part and parcel of the latest weather maker trying to come through. Take a look at some of the showers. It's really generally pretty light and scattered, but right around Westminster up to Cockeysville. Yes, we've got the State Fair that's going on there. Potentially could be seeing a little bit of rain that way. Again, it really should be pretty short-lived if you get it. And then down toward Greensboro, Chestertown, Centerville on the eastern shore. Let's go ahead and put on the radar loop nationally, and you get a better picture of our system here. Let's actually put it on a wider view. You can see there some showers off into Pennsylvania, and there's more that's around Chicago and Detroit. Some of that could get here for tomorrow morning's commute. Now, again, some light showers here and there. Latest weather maker, it's a front that's kind of slung off toward north and west on the south side. It's hot and humid. We'll get some of that air for tomorrow, and eventually tomorrow afternoon, there could even be a marginal level 1 of 5 risk of severe weather for us. And that'll mean you could see some gusty, damaging winds out of any thunderstorms that do develop. Toyota East Unit Harbor Sky Cam, it's 81, mostly cloudy skies. It's a little muggy. Winds out of the east and southeast, making the feels-like temperatures a little warmer than the actual temperature. Now in the tropics, you're watching a few things, but the only named storm is Franklin, and that now is moving into the open Atlantic. Could potentially impact Bermuda and could give us some high seas and maybe even some rip currents over the weekend into early next week. So keep that in mind if you're going down the ocean. Outside of that, no impacts from the tropics here. Future scan overnight, there are your spots. Showers overnight, those should begin to diminish for a time, but by tomorrow morning's commute, 6 to, 8:15 in the morning, round of rain and thunderstorms not looking pretty for the morning commute in, and another round of some spotty showers and maybe a rumble of thunder into the afternoon and early evening, and that could have the potentially gusty winds with it as well. Highs near 90 tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to let you know how long that's going to last in my exclusive 10-day forecast.
Jonathan, thank you. The fentanyl crisis now showing up in greater numbers among children. What the White House is doing to prevent more deaths from the opioid. In tonight's Assignment America, the fentanyl crisis is now showing up in greater numbers among children. Denise Whitaker from our Sinclair sister station in Seattle brings questions about what's being done to protect children from the drug to the federal level.
She was offered a pill by a friend and was told it was oxycodone, and she took that pill and it ended her life.
Genevieve Schofield's daughter, Allison, was just 26 years old. She took the pill, desperate, her mom said, to lessen the chronic pain she suffered from Crohn's disease.
That pill had enough fentanyl in it to kill 7 people. In fact, it didn't have any oxycodone, which is what she thought that she was taking.
Schofield told her daughter's story to public health officials gathered from King County, Washington State, and the White House, wanting more action to prevent fentanyl deaths.
I would like to hear what is being done to combat the flow of this into our communities.
I took Schofield's question right to Dr. Rahul Gupta, the director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy.
We've sanctioned now more Chinese companies that are doing this kind of illicit business, as well as Chinese nationals. We're also indicting more cartel members, capturing them, as well as the enablers.
Those enablers, he told me, include their brokers, accountants, and real estate brokers. Dr. Gupta also tells me they are leveraging technology, using scanners to detect fentanyl coming into our country.
That one site has seized 38 million pills of fentanyl since October of last year. Those are the pills that are not coming into communities like right here in Kent County and in Seattle.
All right, your exclusive 10-day forecast, hot, humid day tomorrow. 50% chance of showers and storms, some in the morning when you wake up, and also in the afternoon and evening, there could be some more spotty storms and some gusty winds. We're at 91 on Saturday, decreasing humidity, 85. Nice looking day on Sunday, and then first day of school for a lot of kids. We're at 83, slim chance of a shower later in the day there. Low to mid 80s to wrap up that exclusive 10-day forecast.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, finally tonight, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a pig spotted taking a stroll near a Baltimore County elementary school. Take a look at this. At around noon yesterday, officers were sent to an animal call at Chapel Hill Elementary, and they found this pig enjoying the summer day. Fortunately for the pig, there was no need to build any houses out of straw or brick, and there were no big bad wolves in sight. But he does have a fairy tale ending. Yes, he does. Baltimore County Police were able to safely return him back to his owner. Would have been fun for kids to see it on Monday as well, but he's back with his owner. That's all for Fox 45.